today I just wanted to hammer out some white and black areas just to really make the whole picture pop, is the stage we're at. But let me get my stuff in the right position so it all is tickety-boo. Whoop. Pull this out to here. Here we go. Trying to get everything structured in a nice way. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, and you guys, you're on a bit of an angle, eh? So let's bring you over here a bit more so you can really see some paint. That's a fun spot to be. Okay, well that's our picture right now. Now I need a couple of things. First off, oh, TikTok's looking good. YouTube needs a bit of an adjustment. Might actually move YouTube back just a little bit, if you don't mind, team. So you can be there. I think that's good for YouTube. There we go. All right, so TikTok, you're in the portrait mode, which is giving you the artwork. Basically, it's in its entirety. And then if you want to see a landscape shot, it's on YouTube. So they're both there. I'm still working on the lighting a bit more. I reckon we need one more over here because this back corner's kind of darkened. It's perfect for me, but for you guys, it's just not popping to the same degree. So I'll get that sorted. But for now, we're working on whites and blacks in this picture. All right, we're back in just a second. Here I come. All right. Couple of brushes here. Voila. All lovely and rinsed, ready for use. Off with a pretty small one. Small one at the start. And the black I want to be using, ivory black. It's not carbon black, but it's still deep, deep, deep dark. And the last thing I've got is this lovely little glass. This isn't champagne, this is egg tempera, but the taller stem glass allows me to pour with a bit more accuracy, which is preferable to have the extra little bit of accuracy. Let me just swipe the comments here so I can read easier. Bang, there we go. Alright, let's get this in here. So this one is, yeah, I guess you're right, this is a little bit different. Not a huge amount different though, but a little bit. It's bolder colours. So bold colours are a massive part, and it's a dinner scene. So we're not working on an up-close face or a genre piece. We're working with something that's actually very, I guess it is a genre piece, actually. Fluid definition. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. Bit more of this. This is going to make it sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. So that song that Miss Rachel sings for my daughter, Icky, Sticky, Sticky, Sticky Bubble Gum. There we go. Bring you forward just a little bit. There we go. Lovely. How are you guys looking there? I might actually move you back a little bit, guys. You're a bit claustrophobic there, to be fair. Now, just in case that light's a bit intense, we'll bring it. There we go. Here's your position. You're in a good spot there. Flick that across to there. Aha! It's the really unusual thing about this work is even with its kind of has this oily effect to it. Impressionist style, but actually it's entirely natural paint, egg tempera and gouache. So pretty wild in that sense, because you don't normally see egg tempera works like this. They're normally a little more realism based. Sounds like we got a guest coming in. Hello, darling. What are you doing? Do you want to come help?
Oh my gosh. Get me out of there.
She's helping out. I know the Impressionists very well. I'm talking about the composition. Doing your own impressions of the impression. Sort of. Not fully. Thank you, darling. Yeah? She disagrees with your stance.
Thank you.
So this is an impressionist. This is impressionist work, but only because we're trying to make an impression of a photograph, not because I'm trying to copy any impressionists. If anything, the impressionists who are trying to create impressions, they would be using digital displays now, because that'd be the best way to get an impression. So I think using paint actually makes you an anti-impressionist, because it's not the best way of making an impression. Now it's more of an expression. Appreciate you, Super. How are you doing, darling? Are you here to help? You here to help? You gonna help me? You gonna come help? Yeah? You can't touch it. You can't touch it. We'll go paint together. Here we go. You ready? Okay. Where are we gonna put it? Over here? Just like that. Do you want to go up here? Just like that. See that? Where else do you want it to go? Put it up there, really high, eh? And where else would you like? Over here? Yeah, there we go. Let's go a bit more paint. Here we go. Is that the right colour? It's not a colour, it's black. Technically it's a tone, but it's still a pigment. Here we go. It'll be over here next, eh? Beautiful. Where next? Anywhere? Here. Let me just check. No, not there. Over here though. You're getting overly excited. And be careful. You get too excited, you'll overwork a painting. You just want to put it in the right spots. There we go. I know. This is dry brushing, darling. What do you see? You want some more paint? You can be in charge of the sellotape if you want. You're the sellotape queen. You want to hold on to that because we will need that at some stage. Her name's Cooper, guys. She's a little darling. She's the painting assistant today and she's holding the sellotape. So we wouldn't get very far without her, would we, darling? No, sir. All right, let's have a look up here. Yeah, there we go. Where else are we going to go? Just over here. Is that good? Sneak a bit in there. You had enough. We want more of that. Here we go. Wichita. What are we after, darling? You can't have the plate. She's wanting to grab her own unit to paint with. I've got one for you. Perfect brush. Perfect brush for the job.
Going to show me? Oh, oh, so soft. So soft.
There we go.
Wow.
Oh, that was very good.
Hey Shelby, is there any glasses? 2x zoom. I'm a little bit blind. That's what I wanted to pick up today.
Wait,
Reading glasses.
I've got blue light glasses.
No, I need reading glasses. Zooming glasses.
Nah, I don't know.
That's alright. I'll pick some up on the way up to the ridge. That's all goody. Hey Tony, welcome on in. She's doing pretty good at the surfing actually, of all things. And Dave, welcome in. We've got 4 people that have joined in on YouTube. So YouTube, you get a slightly more landscape shot of the piece. This one here has got, I'm liking this one. I actually thought, I was painting it privately, it was finished last night, but I think looking at it some more, I just want these characters to stand out just a little bit more. So we're gonna get some black in here just to frame them just a wee bit more. Not their outlines like a nasty buff, here they are, but like just a bit more of the detail around the place. And this is an egg tempera piece, so it's got some bold colours and its own kind of bit of shine. I'll finish it off with a satin sheen at the end, but right now it's better for you guys to watch it in a matte finish, because when I use a glossy finish, it all reflects back at you guys. So this is a nice way to be. Reminds me of the same, different color palette, different composition, but reminds me of, whatchamacallit? Oasis. This is very, very Oasis-y in style. Just with the brush strokes mainly. I think I'm going to chuck some white into here. See if that helps it out a little bit. White, get us some grey, and then from grey we can, oh, there's a way to close your tubes off right. This white is cooked. Ruined. Here we are. We get just a little bit more of this in there. Okay, let's get grey. You got left a gift too. Cute little bunny. Very lucky. Thanks, Trina. There we go. Oh, tummy rumbling. Tummy is rumbling. koala refuel. Good on you, TikTok, for making such creative things. I was talking to a guy from TikTok. He's no longer with TikTok, which is a real pity. Great dude. And he was saying there's actually a team designated to making those trophies and gifts. So that's just what they do. They just come up with new animations and trophies and gifts, and they go into work, and their number one prerogative is to come up with a new awesome trophy or gift. You hear that rumble? That was my tummy. Keep dicing across into white, get lighter and lighter grey. Jew, you are correct. Hello from South Africa, and this is a restaurant scene. So the idea behind it is massive, colourful scene, significant photo, significant memory, characters around the table, and at the moment, it's I was brewing a name for it actually last night, but I forgot what it was. I think all the colours and characters in the shot dinner party just resonated with me, but I don't like to lock on a name until you've actually finished putting paint on the surface, because you can get tied up with a new name, change it some more, and then the name doesn't fit. So it happens. It does kind of feel like a bouquet of flowers. That's just the pigments though. That's the potency in all these pigments that are attacking the surface. So it feels like there's this giant, abundant bouquet of chaos. Which it kinda is. That's an appropriate take. Getting a little bit eggy. Just a bit more pigment. There we go. So, because this paint doesn't dry by off-gassing, it's safe to do it inside. This is egg tempera, so it's going to dry via the proteins, the organic proteins, from a process I understand it's called polymerization. So, we're going to lock the pigment onto the page, and then we put a strong UV-resistant cover on the top of it, which it'll take away the natural glow of the tempera, but it'll mean that we don't have to put glass in front of it. So some people don't mind glass. I actually prefer to have the ability to touch the art. So some of the traditional egg tempera works have glass in front of them. They're protected, they're wonderful. But other ones, like this one, it'd be great if you could actually get right up beside it and see the paint, be a part of the picture. That's the plan. And who's that there? PLLT. I would absolutely love for you to own a piece of the art. Yes, of course you can. There are a bunch of different options available on the website in terms of museum grade reproductions and prints. This original's got a home, it's a commission, and then there's one more commission of a wedding that I'm working on after that. And after that, I'm available to smash out other commissions. But if you get in touch, jump on the link on the website. Shelby, the lady who's just looking after the baby, can show you what's in the studio, because we're about to move house again. And so when we move, well, I've got some paintings. And so if you'd like one from my personal collection, not on the website, then absolutely, I'd love for you to have it. And Shelby's got the high resolution photos of them, so both, you can see that and go from there. JC, I hope you're traveling well. I see a lot of you, JC, from Instagram stories and things. But yeah, long time no see. I hope you're doing well over there on the other side of the planet. What time is it where you are? Probably like what time would it be? You travel, so it's sort of hard to pin down. I need some glasses to see properly. Weeding down to some quite fine detail, so if we could get some glasses, we'd have a better opportunity. I'm just gonna, this is a bit baggy here, guys. I'm just gonna get some paint on my nice sleeping top if I'm not careful. Chuck back on my painting top. Hold on a second. Here we go. And the reason it's a painting top is it was my dress shirt, which I wore, got oil paint on, and now it is only a painting top. So, well, it was a lovely work shirt. Now it is only for paint. Get that button done up. There we go. All right, where were we? Let's keep going. That one there. Seat back there. That feels better. When the clothes are more against you like this, it's easier to know where everything is. So you're not brushing against the canvas. Baggy sleeves, that's the troublesome one. I completely love your impressionistic view. I appreciate that. It's, it comes from a couple of factors. First off, it's my style, obviously, and first off, it's the style, but second off, I see gradients in the world in a really, really different way. Because of a condition that I've got called visual snow syndrome. So everywhere I look, it's like dazzling stars scattered over my vision. And while you can still drive, still see, still do everything you do in regular life, it just has this light static over everything. And because of that, I don't see smooth, crystal clear gradients in my vision. I see, or I can lock on and really look at blocks of color. I can see a color and a shape through the static. And so for me, when I create the art, I'm looking for these colors and these shapes. I'm not getting hung up so much on, oh, I need that gradient in there. And if you've got one of my works, or if you've looked at the pictures on the website up close, you'll know that there's actually 0 gradients. Kind of like Monet wouldn't ever paint that many gradients at all. He would just put colors beside each other. So this entire work is only bold color. There's nowhere where a gradient occurs, and everywhere where you see a gradient, it's not because of an actual gradient, it's an illusion between multiple blocks of solid color. So that's what that is. Hope that. I don't think that was a question. I think I just went on a rant. blend a bit of purple into this, guys. I've got that sitting just over here. Give me a purpley grey. That noise is a plane whizzing overhead. A bit too thick. There we go. Little darling. Just gonna keep a little bit of red added in here. Here we go. Michael, welcome on in. Very good, but that is an important thing to check in on your friends with. If it wasn't good though, do you think we'd engage with it in the middle of a live? So, always check in with your mates, but do it in an environment where they can have your, like if you ask someone, how's your day going? That's kind of a hollow question if you really want to know from one of your mates. If you ask them in a place where they have no opportunity to say anything but good. A lot of the time when a mate comes back and says, oh, not great, you're like, that wasn't part of the social contract of that question. You're just supposed to say good. It was an icebreaker before we go on with work. Now watch out for that. You want to. What's the saying? Hold space. address that. That's true. That's true. Let me sneak on around the back here and make sure this is all tickety-boo. Probably going to put this up a little bit higher too. Perfect dose. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare. There we go. It's a lovely spot to be in. You're golden. How's our YouTube stream going? Perfectly. I'll just put you guys back just a little bit. There we go. Wonderful. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now where is my... There we go. There we go. Now let's tap this in a few little pockets. Add a bit more red into that, I think. There's too much orange in this piece. The table's orange, but it doesn't need to overwhelm the entire work. It can be a little bit more toned back. I better put on a glove. Just on the hand we're working with there. See, I'm very naughty because you got your hand here. More blue. Feedback on YouTube is more blue. But you can see here, show my hand up close there, you just get a little bit of paint on your hands. So you want to have a glove on if you can, because this stuff will get absorbed by your skin and it's not ideal. And plus, pigments plus whatever else in it dries your skin out. So even if it's not just for a health reason, cosmetically, it's a good move. Righty tighty. A lot of blue in it though, was. A lot of blue. How's our zero reading on our equipment, which is great because we want it to have 0 fumes in the end. You know, it's not because this paint has fumes in it, but sometimes it can pick up on readings of all sorts of stuff in the room. Just want to make sure this room is as safe as humanly possible. Otherwise, you lose your mind when you're trying to paint, and that's not ideal. Yellow. Call me mellow yellow. Spectrum yellow. That's our next move. Daggers and others. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I think if Van Gogh had used egg tempera, his work would look really similar to this. But Van Gogh attacked oil, so he went much more down an impasto route. See the way those pinks that we started with have really fallen back now. They're still playing a role, but they're not overwhelming the picture. Jesse, welcome in. Welcome. We got a lovely 5 people joining us on YouTube. And we got a little crowd on TikTok. We're painting a dinner party. And the paint we're using at the moment is egg tempera. Egg tempera, I'm going to finish it off with a satin varnish, so it will have UV protection. But while we're painting, at the moment we're allowed to be indoors because we're not dealing with harmful solvents, dangerous additives. Here's Shelby. Busy. Beautiful. Hey, this is me. This is real. Do. I make no apologies. Favorite song from that movie though is Other Side. Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman. What a movie. What a movie. What a song. Here we go. In here. Getting a call. How's the weather in New Zealand? Well, what's happening with it? It's mild. It's a little bit cold. I'm managing. I've actually got to call her back shortly. So, we'll finish up here though. We'll use up this colour and then I'll jump on that call. At least you can tell that I am busy. Yeah, when I get in touch with you and you're like, he's just sitting at home painting. You're like, no, he gets calls. He's a man in demand. That's two people. It's not nothing. Of course, you can see the reference shot. Hold on. I'll just show the team up here on, this is for the team on, show for the ring light there. There we go. Drop down and up. Down and up. And then bring it over here for you guys. You ready? I wonder if I can get it to match up with, watch out for the ring light there. It's not going to work perfectly, but there's our shot. There's where we're at. And that's what we are doing. So we want to make that come into shape. Brianna, kinda. Been all over the show, but I've been doing a bit more painting in private too, which, you know, just to keep, just for a bit of difference in the creative process, but it's good to have you back in here though. I added a bit much water through my tempera emulsion this time around. That's all right. It's not the end of the world. I appreciate that. I'm a huge fan of this piece. I hope they love it. I really do. They've got 2 of my pieces already, so my style's not really a surprise to them. Although this one isn't exactly the same. It's a bit different with its with the way the paint's been applied. So although it's still me, it's still very much my style and who I am. It's just a little bit frisky, and it'll fit perfectly into their current collection. Absolutely perfectly. I think the 2 previous pieces I used a little bit more moisture and flow to the paint, and this is very, very powerful with the color. So they're all great though. The other 2 works that they've got are both family shots, but this is the first one we've done where we've zoomed out a little bit more, and we've got a little bit more of a genre piece. There's a scene happening. So previously the characters would take up the whole composition, but at the moment in this shot, 70% of the composition actually is made up by the table, the walls, the ceiling, the background. So it's quite interesting in where that actually goes. Makes for a massive change. There we go. Beautiful. How's Paddy? Paddy's good. Is that Paddy Gower? I've never actually met him before. I saw his book in Whitcoulls the other day. Jeepers. That wasn't what I had planned. Or Bob Ross would call it a happy little accident. I just call it a mistake. But you're allowed to lean into a mistake. Zero fumes, fantastic. Alright team, I'm going to need to pause us there because I need to dash, but we will be back tonight, so if you're around the next probably 8 hours, then I'll see you then. Pause there. Alright team. Wow. We've got a lovely 7 people here on YouTube, so I'll catch you guys later. Thank you very much for joining. I'll try not to trip over the painting. TikTok crew, thanks for being here. You're a pack of champions. What's it we're painting? This is a dinner scene, so very impressionist, a little bit abstract, super colourful, while still adhering to the basic guidelines of the feeling and composition of this image. Voila. All right. Have a lovely day, evening, or morning, guys. I will see you possibly later on tonight. That is the plan.